All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we're back for another movie review, and this one was it was interesting. We got Die Alone, and this came out last year. Starring Carrie-Anne Moss, Frank Grillo, and some others. So the entirety of this movie is based around the character Ethan, and he is been searching for his missing girlfriend by the name of Emma. So what this whole world that Ethan's in, he wakes up, he's like, okay, where am I? Where is everyone? And what we find out is the world is become an apocalypse pretty much. This unknown virus has taken over the planet. It's a plant virus, and if you get bitten, the virus obviously goes to you. If you feed on human flesh while you're this monster, you regain your conscious for however long, and then you go back to being a mindless eating monster. Now, we see flashes through the movie of Ethan and Emma where it's like, hey, we're gonna meet at this cabin, and he meets this unknown character by the name of May, who's played by Carrie-Anne Moss, and she has been able to survive this outbreak, this unknown thing. She's been taking care of Ethan, because again, he needs help. She's like, okay, I'll agree to help you find your girlfriend. And then he can't wait, and he goes on his own and meets some other people, and it's just he blacks out, and he finds a video of Emma, basically that he has very bad amnesia, that it's like he'll wake up the next day and he won't remember anything other than his girlfriend, that he needs to find her. He barely remembers May, and May keeps coming around to help him. And during the duration of the film, a lot of things happen of, is she playing him? Does she know what happened to his girlfriend? How long has he had amnesia? How long has he been out? All that kind of thing. And what we go through is Emma's been as a doctor, and during the duration of the film, he finds a locket that was Emma's in May's house, and he's like, okay, what the heck? Like, what do you know about Emma? And did you do anything to her? And it kind of goes further into the story of how Frank Grillo even plays in here, where he owned the house that May's in, and Emma and Ethan show up at that house, and we find out that Ethan was actually attacked by a zombie plant monster thing and was infected, and she's been feeding him humans so that way he can stay alive and be able to still regain somewhat of his humanity. And unfortunately, Emma has no choice but to defend herself against the character Kai that Frank plays, and she takes him out while Ethan, takes out his family. And we later find out that Emma is May, and May has been taking care of Ethan all this time. That over the years he still recognized her, but he kept forgetting who she was, and then finally one day he just forgot who she is. And it's really interesting because again, you see that she has done everything in her power to be able to make sure that he somehow regains his memory, regains his humanity, but he's still on the road of like, I need to find my girlfriend, but he doesn't realize that his girlfriend is the woman that has been near him almost all this time. And it's a crazy thing. And I think this movie really takes you into the turn of making you think, and really showing how far someone's willing to go for you. And it's kind of it's really weird. I mean, it's a very weird movie, and I'm kind of wondering if they got some kind of inspiration from The Last of Us, or maybe The Walking Dead, or something of that nature. I don't know. Like, I feel like the entirety of this film was kind of easy to pick out in the beginning, but at the same time, if you pay attention, you'll be able to figure it out pretty quickly. But overall, I think this movie's okay, but at the end of the day, it's a one and done for me. It's not something that I would probably go back and rewatch. And I will give Carrie-Anne Moss credit to where credit's due. I think she was able to act a lot more in this film than what she was in her last project, which was The Acolyte. Obviously, travesty. Hopefully she got a good paycheck, and hopefully, she won't. Go back to something like that because it shows how good of an actress she is and how good of an actress she can be. And I think this movie kind of shows how she can be a decent actress and be a good actress still. But overall, guys, I don't know. I can't say I can recommend this film, but I also can't say I can't recommend this film. It's one of those films. It's an acquired taste, and that's the best way to describe it. And a lot of these horror movies that's coming out nowadays is an acquired taste, and a lot of these, filmmakers, writers, and etc. They'll say, "Oh, this is the best written movie, or well directed, or well this or well that," and it's like maybe, but again, once you give it to an audience, the audience can either rip it apart or praise it. And this movie can easily be ripped apart, but it can also be praised in certain ways too. So that's just my overall take of this film. What do you guys think about it? Let me know about it down in the comments. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll be back with you for another one, and stay tuned.